Let's go ahead and get started here. This is Scamming the Scammers, hacking scammers with pwns and knowledge with good intentions. Want to thank everyone for coming out here. The last talk of the con. First thing, I want to give a big thanks to all the NolaCon staff, security, video. Great job. First time ever being here at this con. I'm absolutely happy. So let's go ahead and give them a hand, guys. Also, thank you to Adrian over here, who works incredible to get these videos uploaded as soon as possible. So, awesome. Thank you to him. And let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and talk about today is, if I can get this thing, is the introduction. We're going to go to the introduction, then the intro to the talk. I have to add legal stuff. I'm sorry. I know it's boring. We're going to go over some exploits, tools, some other ideas we can have, and then conclusion. This was going to have a demo. My AWS instance with this actually failed today, and I tried to reload with Debian. My Mac will not connect with SSH over there, and I do not want to download Java. I'm sorry. So, who am I? My name is Nathan. You can find me on Twitter at LogKiller. An IT guy, physical penetration tester. I'm also a developer. I also develop in languages like Java, Objective-C, Python. Just started with Go as well. I can't say who I work for, because this talk is kind of weird, and they don't want me to say who I actually work for. Free time, I actually work on a home lab to actually increase everything. Volunteer for Sky.con as staff and safety and security for Circle City Con and B-Sides Las Vegas. Great conferences, guys. Definitely check them out. Trying to organize B-Sides Lexington in Lexington, Kentucky. And also, fun fact, I drove here from Toronto to speak here. 22 hours on the road, not fun driving for Alabama where there's nothing. So let's go ahead and go over some legal here so we can go and get that out of the way. This presentation does contain topics that may be considered unscrupulous. Per this reason, my employer, former, current, and future, shall not be held liable for content in this presentation. All complaints shall be handled by the private legal team, personally funded by the speaker. Please don't make any complaints. I don't want to pay them. This talk does not condone any illegal action to be taken. All actions are subject to local laws and cannot be advised by the speaker. If actions in this talk are tried, legal recourse may be taken in your local government. Don't be stupid. Complaints shall be sent via electronic communications to complaints@notinfoset.com. That is a legit email. If you really want to make my lawyer mad, go ahead. And my company requires this to be in multiple languages in case English is not your first language. I am sorry for the terrible translation provided by these. I just threw Klingon in because why not? Okay, cool. We went through all that. We can actually get to the meat and potatoes of this talk. So let's go ahead and go for an introduction to the talk. The thing about this talk is, had a video, have no audio. I could definitely turn my Mac up to max volume, and it's muted. Never mind then. So I always like to start with a survey with my talks. I was going to ask who's ever heard this type of phone call, and I can't play the audio. Basically, you can probably tell for the picture, it's a tech support scam. Who here has heard one of those? Or actually have gotten them, or honeypotted them, or whatever? Okay. We all know they're fun. We all know they're dangerous as well. The thing is, people are losing billions of dollars, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute with these. My goal is to stop these. My goal is to actually help users stop these. And I know this is a simple subject, but people are not getting it. People are really not getting it, and then we have no other action to take. So I'm actually going to be focusing on two things here in this talk. The 3CX PBX software for Windows and Linux, and then, of course, tech support scammers. There are tons more I would love to add. I don't want this talk to be 5 hours. Unless you want to really hear me ramble for 5 hours, go ahead and buy me a beer at a bar, and we'll talk. So this is getting so bad that a service called Truecaller, it's a app you put on your phone. It can actually tell you who's calling you, and basically say, okay, yeah, this is a scammer. This is not. This is a bad person. This is the FBI. $7.4 billion lost in 2015. Then they published the statistics of the survey. So you probably can't see this. But basically, they had some users, of course, download a caller ID app. They check their phone bill, normal stuff like that. They call their carrier to get blocks on the account. They sign up for credit monitoring. They change their credit card number or credit card company. Change your phone number, got placed on the national do not call list. Bad problem about that one. If you're doing illegal activity, are you really going to listen to the federal government on who not to call and who call? The thing that surprises me, though, this little red sliver did nothing. Let people run with their money, nothing. The thing is, people are too afraid to admit they got scammed. I've been scammed before. I'm not going to lie. I have. A lot of people here have been probably as well. It's just looking for the things and actually reporting it. Because if you don't report it, nothing's going to happen. They're going to keep on gaining money. So again, why are you looking into this? It's actually pretty simple. Over 100 people a day on average are being scammed by these tech support scammers or other individuals. Average scam price is $200 to $500 each. You can tell they're getting pretty rich off this stuff. And just because I'm Canadian, I'm going to make fun of ourselves. It's equal to 600 average Canadian dollars, and that's a day. And then 675 $100 notes in Canadian, so it's still like 4 cents. But it's seriously disgusting. It really is. Seeing people just steal money from people. I'm not going to go outside the streets in New Orleans and steal from someone. I'm sorry, that is against my ethics. But stealing from people, unless it's a penetration test or some valid reason you do have, I'm sorry, it's just disgusting to me. The most popular scams we're facing today: vacations, grants, loans, I have a warrant for your arrest, give me money, tech support. You then have your Craigslist, eBay, Amazon, other services like that. We all know those. A lot of end users don't. And since this is an InfoSecCon, most of you guys are going to be, hopefully have policies in place to do user education. I really do hope so. If not, that's another good reason why I actually am giving this talk. So we're still going to go ahead and go over why we're looking into this. But what can we do to stop it? A great example, my cell phone carrier, T-Mobile, introduced a fantastic feature called Scam Block. What it does is it actually at the network level checks the database and say, hey, is this phone number legit? Is it calling 200 people a minute? Is it a valid human on the other end of the line? If not, you get a really nice caller ID. But here is a video of them actually showing this feature in actual use. It's pretty cheesy, but it will say scam likely on the phone. So the user knows exactly, should I answer this? Should I not? And then the enrollment process, super easy. Dial #662# on your phone, you're instantly enrolled. It may take about 24 hours, but all Android phones from them have this feature now as their software update. And this is what it looks like. I blurred out the number, and this is not a contact on my phone. This is actually network level caller ID being changed. So you're going to see it's from Pennsylvania, scam likely, and then of course, that's what it's going to look like actually on a caller, or actually you getting a phone call. So they're actually leading the way to try to get this implemented because they know it's a problem. Once other people start getting this implemented, I'm going to say money will be lost. But it's also their education of trying to get this done as well. Now we get to the good part, exploits. What can we do to actually screw these guys over and make them lose anything and everything? So we have a couple of elite hacks we have to go over. I'm sorry for spelling elite like that. First off, how can we get these guys offline? How can we take them down? Ethically and non-ethically. I kind of like the non-athlete way, but some people have ethics. 3 proven methods that are used almost every day. You have scam baiting, system exploits, and social engineering. They're relatively simple, and if you know any other great methods, I would love to hear them so I can put it in the next presentation I'm actually giving at a different con. But scam baiting, simple. You waste time on the scammers. I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you ever went on Match.com and got a catfish, this is it. Basically, you waste your time as much as possible to try not to get someone else scammed. Pros and cons. It's pretty effective, actually. Except it does have its drawbacks. It does force action from them, so sometimes they'll just change your phone number, block you. That's easy to bypass, though. Stop other people from getting scammed. Cons, not time effective. I don't have 2 hours out of my day to sit on a phone call and get on a honeypot and let them on it and get all their information like IP address so I can actually report it to the ISP and get them arrested. I don't have that time. It can take a bit to set up. You're probably going to need some spoofing tools or a SIP trunk like FireRTC or just some other free SIP trunk or a PBX. It can cost a bit of money because you might have to pay for that PBX, or if you're cheap like me, you can just use Google Voice. But now they're actually getting smart, which PBXs are actually now supporting VoIP blocking. So they can just block the number of all VoIP numbers, and they're good, but again, that's super easy to bypass. And I put it as effectiveness level of 2, just because of time, resources it takes. What really gets into the fun part is system exploitation. So, pros, very effective, I hope so. They can lose a lot of money in a small amount of time frame by you exploiting their whole entire system. Again, it stops other people from getting scammed. Cons, it's illegal in almost all 50 states in Canada and almost every other country. Check your local laws. I don't know where you live, and I'm not a lawyer. Only thing I know is in Canada it's illegal. It is a planned attack. So some of these attacks can take a while, and you might have to plan it out pretty well in advance. Try to anonymize yourself. Sometimes you might have to work with local law enforcement. That's the worst part, I think, about this. Just you actually having to report this to local law enforcement because you don't know where they're from. They can be in anywhere from the United States to the Philippines to Iran. Almost every country has these guys, and that's sad. But still, finding out where they who their local law enforcement is, and working with their local law enforcement, that can be a pain. And I give this an effectiveness level at 8. And I also set up myself a little test to see how easy it is to actually exploit this PBX software. All exploits have been reported to the vendor. They have not been fixed within 180 days. So they apparently just don't care. So I went to Fiverr. And I posted this ad. If you see this ad, do not buy it. I will set up your 3CX or VoIP phone system for $50. Sounds harmless. And, I give you some pretty good deals, $50 gets you 5 extensions set up on your phone system. Had about 12 people order this. I've done them all legitimately. I actually delivered the product, and they were actually happy. One of them, I actually asked him, hey, can I backdoor your phone system? Just for a research. He's like, sure. That was easy. I already had the AWS PKK file. I could log in using SSH. I didn't really have to do anything else. Change permissions actually rewrote the actual website for 3CX. So it actually allows me to do a little bit cool stuff, which I'll go over here. And basically get admin creds, take the phone system down. And then social engineering. Do I really have to say more about this? You can get DA creds, access, if you're lucky enough to have a domain controller. You could try to get metadata from them by using EXIF, by having them take a picture of something there and sending it, because I guarantee you if they take a picture with their phone, they probably have geolocation on. Super easy. And then name of the talking scam and scammers. Cons, it can be a bit hard to actually get data from these guys. Not just because they actually know what they're doing. Sometimes they just don't know what they're doing. And most of these guys are in it for the money. And they get paid a lot to do nothing, but they still don't know half the data that they need to know. Or if they do know it, they just refuse to give it. It can be very time intensive too. Still, same thing as scam baiting. It can be very time intensive. So, I give it a level 6. If you don't know about social engineering 101, don't fuck it up. Don't be an idiot. So basically, here's our 3 methods. So scam baiting is fun yet kind of stupid sometimes. It's not always effective, but you're going to get somewhere. System exploit, fun yet illegal. Social engineering, fun yet, fun. Hacking the human is always amazing to me. So how can we actually get everyone's money back? So I was actually approached by one of my friends saying, hey, my mother just got scammed. How can we get money back? Well, you can call the bank, or we can do it other ways. They called the bank. Discover just basically refunded them the money, and everything was happy. So we can do a couple things here. We can just steal their customer database and call the users back to let them know, hey, it was a scam in case they didn't know. Hopefully they did. Or refund the actual scammer, or refund the actual customer via their payment processor. For example, Stripe. I did see one that actually did use Stripe. Stripe has a very strict fraud policy. Basically, they are saying fraud is your responsibility. If there is a lot of fraud on the account, you're gone. And we will report you to other payment processors like 2Checkout and other, just PayPal, Visa, anyone that's partnered with them, they will know, and they will know not to let you process the credit cards. So they can shut down the whole entire account. They can even refund all the charges in case they're fraudulent. So you have to do a little bit happy dance there. And then again, you can actually let your credit card company do the work. They are used to this, and they are used to actually handing these out. The problem with credit cards is you are going to have to file a police report. You're actually going to get the proper channels. This is ethics. Come on. But again, the good part is, they're still going to get the ban hammer on them for actually doing fraudulent charges. The cool thing also about Stripe that I forgot to mention, Stripe actually works with you. So unlike service like PayPal, they actually want to work with you to get these people caught. So if you ever see a Stripe charge for this, or any scammer using Stripe, call Stripe or email Stripe support. They will respond super fast, and they will actually help out with this. They're one of the companies that do care about people keeping their money and having it go exactly where it is and keeping people secure. And how can we fight back? Well, we have a couple of ways. Again, system exploit, social engineering, and just being a dick to some of these guys. So again, we're working on the 3CX phone system. It has a fantastic user interface. I absolutely love it. And, it has a backup and restore functionality in it. You probably see where this is going. If you get access to the backups and restore part of it by any means, or if they have a backup, you can take the name of the backup you want, download it, or even go to this URL and remove the download question mark, and they'll get a whole list of downloads. The bad thing is they contain this .xml file. 100% plain text, non-encrypted. There's your username and password. Some of these guys actually do have payment processing with their phone system. Super easy to take apart. You get in there, and most of it is a .NET app. We all know how easy it is to get into a .NET app. Extremely easy. Even if it's ops, you can still get into it. You can find out exactly where it's going and what's happening with it. Because you do analysis, say, okay, yeah, it's going to this processor, it's going here, this is how it's communicating, gone. And other ways we can actually fight back. again, it all goes back to ethics. You have to know what you're willing to do, what you're willing to not do. If you really want to get that little old lady's money back, just because you really do enjoy actually helping these people out, sure, go ahead. If you want to let people know, hey, do this, 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 or do a corporate setting and actually have your corporate environment set up to actually handle this. And, sometimes we have to follow Wheaton's law and then just cross it out. Because sometimes you do have to take major action. Or again, if you want to go this way and do it that way, that's also fine as well. The thing is, if you do it this way, you can always do this. And if you want to do that, I guarantee you they still have the exploit enabled and they probably have not patched your system. A good way I've found actually effective in a local lab environment to actually do this is actually pretty interesting. So you have your network, have your computer, because we all know hackers' computers are red, always. Every TV show, every movie, you'll see the hacker's computer be red. You have a service like WannaCrypt, and then, use a PowerShell script to actually compile a .lnk file with a PowerShell downloader to download the software from your web server, running it silently. And make it totally not malware as a Chrome icon, and let them have the icon. And you're good then. But that does get back to what happens if I want to report this to police. First thing they're going to ask you is, how did you get this information? Do you really want to tell them you ransomware the whole entire network? Do you really want to say that? Or do you want to say, I just got lucky my router had logs? I mean, I would love to say the first one. I'm just not going to jail like I almost did here yesterday. We just sit back, watch, relax, and let it do its thing. Once this is done, they're down. I've actually also been seeing scammers use Amazon Connect. It's the new cloud contact center from AWS. They're getting pretty sophisticated. They're actually using workspaces from AWS as well now. So some of them are actually getting wise thin clients and doing thin clients for everyone. So this will not work. They're starting to understand people know what they're doing. People are trying to stop this. And also extremely simple to stop on a corporate level. So how can we actually have a little bit more fun here? The biggest thing I like to do, use SCT. You can always make a fantastic email with SCT, get them to phish it, get their local bank, or even get their information. Sometimes they'll just give it to you. The fun thing is trying to guess their email address. Because I've actually seen some of them use 156.com or some Chinese email address or 10-minute mail or something like that. Using obscure emails, and actually some of them have corporate emails. So first name at domain.com. I don't know why you need that if you run a scamming organization. You always get shells in the box, see what's on there, see what data is on there, see what actually they're tracking. So then you can actually go, okay, cool. Again, send this off to the police. Police love getting information, but yet again, you have to tell them how you got it. That's the one thing I don't want to do. Or you can just go on Fiverr and have someone do it for you. Bug the phones. Or have the local authorities come and share a beer with them. Authorities love sharing beers. I mean, you just probably can't drink it because your hands be behind your back, but still, they love sharing beers. Now let's actually go to a corporate level real quick. If you do work in a corporate environment, there's a couple ways to actually stop this. One, actually have almost VoIP blocking on the PBX. Again, that is super simple to bypass by actually just changing the phone number. 3CX, for example, allows you to actually change the outbound caller ID to anything you want. If I wanted to make it NolaCon, it would make the caller ID NolaCon. It would come through as NolaCon. If you want to be really nefarious and make it 911, unfortunately lets you do that. And they are actually patching that according to them. Because no one should have the ability to call someone as 911 or 999 for UK. Also, use software that Phoronix has. Anti-Zec Deep Freeze. Great softwares. Hopefully most of you guys use them in the corporate environment right now. Anti-Zec is a great software. Basically, it's like the default Windows GPO for AD. Don't allow the software to run. Except it's a whole lot easier to manage. Because to be honest, that GPO is terrible. And I've actually locked myself out of Windows before using it. But Anti-Zec will actually stop software like GoToAssist or Amy or TeamViewer or something like that. Have control over your network. Have control of what users can download and what users cannot. Deep freeze, of course, we all know, reboot, restore. They try to encrypt the drive or they try to put this key on there. You're fine. You have nothing to worry about. Major user education in corporate environments is a big thing. Make sure your users know what happens. I've been seeing these go more towards corporate environments recently. Corporate environments are a good point for this. Confidential information. Just like everything else. If you want money, you want that CFO's computer. You want everything on that. You want an accountant's computer, customer services computer. They all have access to private information that can actually help someone take that company down. So again, user education is a big thing there, and that's what I advocate everyone to take for a corporate environment. Now, the demo I actually had was my Fiverr experience where I actually had to backdoor the phone system. I'm not going to say who the client was. I'm not going to say anything about them. Only thing I will say is they were actually not a scam center. They were actually a legitimate call center, a very small one, actually out in North Carolina. And I'm just glad they actually let me actually work on that, to actually do research on that, because I wanted a live system to see what I can do. Unfortunately, I said I can't show you the demo, but what I was going to show you is, hey, here's this. Running on a Windows machine, having those .NET apps go directly with 3CX's APIs gives you anything. Live voice recording, credit card numbers being entered on the phone, even just a number being entered on the phone. Caller ID, where the user is calling from, everything. So that's what I was actually going to show, because the software was developed, actually put on there, seeing everything go through. That's not really good for a 3CX environment. That's not good for anyone to have on a Windows machine anyway. See here. So, and then I'm actually just going to go ahead and do this. Since the demo was lost, the talk was cut a little bit short. But other ways we can actually work on this, ways I found that actually work besides education. Putting these pieces of software in place. Actually work with users and getting that done. Have an environment that's a little bit less prone. So again, if you are using thin clients, really great way to actually help your users out. At home, it's a bit of a different story. Anyone that needs education at home, point them to tons of YouTube videos. But the main thing we're working on is how can we actually get these guys off the phones? These are the most simple yet effective ways to do that. And then thus you're actually scamming them out of their time, money. Hopefully they're gone forever. So you can find me here. Any ideas to make the talk better? This talk was thrown together super quick. I didn't even know anything was happening. Email me, Nathan tweet me at LogKiller. My account's private, so you have to request to follow me, or my DMs are actually open. But let me know. I love criticism. I love hearing bad things. And I love hearing that actually people care to help out. But again, I'm sorry for having this talk cut short. Hopefully everyone's good. And if you need to take a picture of this, good. This will actually be on notinfosec.com for a little bit more information. Been a week. I'll actually be uploading some actual more information. Someone just follow me on Twitter right now. But I'll have more information. I'll have this whole PDF on there. And I'll even give some templates out for 3CX and actually how you can actually work on this. Some more education documents and everything. Just don't go there right now because there is malware on the site and I don't want you guys to download that. That's being removed today. And just so it's actually a safe site anymore because Google is actually now blocking my sight. But again, that's it. And sorry for the talk, cutting short. But if you have any questions, let me know. And if you want to hear a story about a 4-hour phone call with a tech sports camera, let me know. Super hilarious. So, thank you.